Hello, this is Victor, and today I would like to make a quick video of the harness for Richard in Texas. This harness came from 1992 Mercedes 500 SL. It's a body harness that goes all the way from the fuse box through the car and back onto the passenger side, under the hood to where computers are, and connects to various parts of the car. Here, as you can see, obviously this is the fuse box. Is fuse box for auxiliary fan, the rear defroster, combination relay for wipers, and I believe hazard lights, junction connections. This is one of the computer's connections, junction connection, power cords, computer, headlight switch, grounds. This goes actually to this combination relay down there. This looks like it's a light switch. It's not the switch, actually, it's the connection for the interior lights. Well, this here says park brake switch. Yeah, parking brake. These things state that it's rear view mirror. As you can see, it goes all the way through rear view mirrors. More wires. These wires are not finished yet, but these are for the ignition switch. More connections, more connections, more connections. These are part of the ignition switch here. So I'm halfway through the harness. Basically, the problem started, I believe, somewhere around headlight switch. And one of the wires shorted out, and it actually started to heat up. And because it runs across, it would melt along with others, and also will short other wires with themselves. And therefore, I had to remove all the burnt wires and solder new wires in place of old ones. Again, I haven't wrapped it yet, just wanted to show the internals of the harness. And this part I already finished. As you can see, it's wrapped nice and tight, and I did double check all the connections. Now here are the wires that I cut out. There's a little bundle here. Now what we're gonna find here is, just look at few burnt areas. For example, this one right here. This one burnt out completely, as you can see. Is the residue of insulation of adjoining wires. Some wire that was running next to this one also melted and fused. Now we have some wire that is actually bare. As you can see, this most likely is the one that was heating up and melting all other wires with it. It appears to be. There's more wires here, bare cables. Here's another wire that has some residue of burnt insulation. As you can see, it keeps going all around right here, and just whenever it ends, I just cut it from the beginning to the end, because obviously this wire you're not going to salvage by any means. There's another one here. As you can see, insulation here is burnt as well. And there's more bad cables. This one is all burnt out also. Bare metal sticking through. You can see this one, that's like burnt out. All of these wires had some damage to them, so on this one, as you can see, this one right here, pretty bad. This one didn't go through, actually. This is a residual, but I still replaced this wire, so it doesn't. So we have no chance of shorting in future. This one, for example, had just some burn marks, as you can see right here, right there. So obviously I would replace this one also. Basically replaced all the wires that have any doubts. For example, this one is burned so much, so close to the actual wire that obviously this has to be replaced. Alright, so this is the pile of wires that have been replaced. Now let's take a look at wires here. The ignition switch wiring, this is for the ignition switch. I mean, some of these wires still have some residue, but nothing went through insulation. It's just black and dirty, but that has nothing to do with performance of the cable. They're all perfectly fine. They didn't melt out at all. It's just some other wires were melting, and they would just make the insulation dirty because of burning of other insulation. So I just tried to clean it and see if it went through. It did not. This is fine. These wires have very thick insulation, so I wouldn't worry about them, although I'm going to still cover individual wires with some heat shrink wrap before I wrap them in the loom. So these are original ones. This one is also an original one, as you can see. It's just a little dirty, but it is completely fine, perfectly fine, straight. I can even clean this, need it, but it's gonna be wrapped. Nobody will ever see it. I just wanted to document it. And these are some new wires that I ran. These were the ones that burned, so there's some markings on them, so I know where they go. And also I'm going to check them with my multimeter, make sure they go to the right place, the right connectors, based on diagrams. So I got my diagrams in my computer here. They show where wire is supposed to lead, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to double check each and every one of them. Right now, for example, this is the instrument cluster, and I just finished checking each and every connection on instrument cluster, make sure it goes to the right place, even though I did one wire at a time. But it's good practice to double check, because this is a very big job to remove this harness. Now here we'll find this is new wire, this is new wire, this is new wire, this is new wire, this one is new, this one is new, this one is new. Now what else is new? Let's see, this one is new, this one is new, that's for sure. These three too, and these are new. This one new. This one is new. What else? That is just right here that go across. You know, there's some wires here that go across from left to right. Some of them go all the way to the end of the harness. Some of them end here. So these are new wires here. Instrument cluster wiring has new wires. This one, these, this one, these two wires right here. These are new. Then something, and these two are new right here. These two are new. These two are new also. So these are the wires for the instrument cluster that I had to replace. Well, except for the red one. This one is original. So these wires are new. They go along. And these wires are new. All of these wires are new. These wires are all new. And obviously more inside the new wires. Now, moving along. This wire is this pair is new also. That's for the switch, headlight switch lamp. Now we have the headlight switch. So basically all except for one in the headlight switch I had to replace. They were all burnt together because they were twisted together, and the wire that was heating up burned them all. So these wires go to the left. These are thicker ones, so I use thicker grade cable because it's for power consumption. The only one I left here is the white one, which is in decent condition. I just still put some shrink wrap over it, but it was pretty much the same as, for example, this one. It was just a little dirty, but it didn't burn because it has very thick insulation, so we got lucky in this one. Moving along, there's some wires over here that I had to replace. This one is new. This one is new. Let's see, it's a couple. Yeah, these two I had to do. Let's do one connector, and then this connector I had to do this one, this one, this one. This connector I had to do this one, this one, this one. 3 over here. And on this one I had to do a couple. This is a new cable right here. So, but obviously if it starts here, it could lead all the way to the end. So I had to run it all along. And I also preserved the original stickers, so it's gonna be easier for installer who's going to put this harness back in the car. On the fuse box I had to replace a couple of power lines. See, all of these wires are new. The blue ones, the brown ones, white and brown, I mean black and white striped one, this is new. So I did I had to take terminals off and solder them together, either on top or inside. Like in this case, this is new wire. I soldered directly to the terminal, crimped it, heat shrink wrap it, screw it back. With this one, for example, this is an additional blue wire. Same thing. I had to open up the crimp the new wire in, and then soldered it. So that's how I did it. So I did it right. For example, here one of the power line had to be replaced, so I did double blue, and that's what I did here. As you can see, I opened up the crimp, I soldered it around here, as you can see, and then I crimped it back and soldered it around as well. So this is a really nice, good bond. As you can see, it's like pretty much one piece now. This is a good connection. I still haven't finished with some ground ones. I'll finish them last. And yeah, so just it's coming along. I've been working on this harness for quite a bit of time, because it is very time consuming to find each and every wire, feed it through, and you know, just to make sure it works. And also at the end I got this friction tape that's 4 rolls. I use 2 rolls by now, but I have more, so I'm going to wrap this harness back to original specifications, just like this, so it's nice and protected with friction lines. Again, I tried to save all of these stickers, and pretty much all of them are saved, so it's gonna aid with installation, because whoever removed this harness put stickers on, so once he finds stickers back on the wires, that's obviously gonna help him to put it back together. This harness came all the way from Texas, so it's a long way, and technician will install it once he receives the harness. Yep, so that's the quick update here. I should be done tonight. It's about 6 p.m, so probably around 11, maybe midnight, I'll be done with it, and we should be good to go. Put it back in the box and mail it out. Alright, this is the one big job, but it's all doable. From far away, as you can see, this is a full-size bed. This harness takes pretty much the whole length of the bed, and because it's laying all on the right hand side, it's sagging down, but if it would lay in the middle, then it would branch out left and right, so it would have been pretty much the whole bed, because I just curled it up so I can work at the edge of the bed, so I don't have to lean over. Alright, this is my messy workroom, but yep, and soon to be done. Thank you for watching.